Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you for checking out today's video. If you remember my 2020 WRX, I had a set of LED fog lights hidden behind the grille of the car. I really liked that look. I thought it was unique. I didn't really see anyone else with that design. And so I basically had an extra set of fog lights laying around, didn't know what to do with them, started tinkering with it, found a place to put them behind the grille, and that was that. So I didn't really think I was gonna do it again on this car, but I had Lasfit LED reach out to me and they asked to do a LED overhaul in the car, and I was like, well, I kind of already did that. So I was like, do you guys have a fog light kit you could send me like the last one that I had? And so they did. They sent me out a set of fog lights for the car, and that's what we're going to be installing today. Now, they actually have a bracket for this car for the 15 Plus WRX right here, and I'll show you where this goes. It's actually pretty cool. So if you were doing an off-road style build on your car and you want to put some floodlights or spotlights or whatever on the car, you can actually install them with this. So basically, this will actually bolt down, so the factory studs that come down from the hood and bolt onto the latch, this will just go down there and bolt on. And then you'll just bolt the fog light to the top of this and boom, you'll have your floodlights. So I will install one of these just so you guys can see how it looks, but I'm going to install these my way. So I'll mount these brackets in there behind the bumper on both sides. So my last set of these was actually fog lights, but these ones here are spotlights. Now they offer all kinds of different ones. You can get floodlights, driving lights, spotlights, fog lights, all that jazz. When I had the fog lights in the grille, I think it kind of defeated the purpose because they're kind of pushed back in, so it didn't have that wide angle like it should have had. So I figure if it's behind the grille, the only place for the light to go is forward, and why not get some spotlights? So this could be fun. What we're gonna do now is pop the bumper off. If you're not already familiar, just a bunch of 10 millimeters on top, pop clips on top, down the sides, around the bottom, pops right off. So before we get too far, I just want to show you guys how that bracket goes on. You literally just take off those two 12 millimeter bolts on the hood latch, put that bracket on there, and then bolt it back down, and then you can see it does that number right there. So that's super cool. So if you were doing like a rally build or something like that, this is essentially what they would look like once you install that secondary bracket. And they just kind of sit there on top of the hood like a typical off-road light, which is pretty cool. If you're doing an off-road build, that is 100% a sweet setup. And then your wiring and stuff will just go down and around and underneath the hood. So I have the bumper off now, and before we actually start on the wiring, I want to get the brackets mounted and get the lights installed. And as you can see, that is the bolt that we're going for. It's symmetrical on both sides, and we just have to take those out and bolt this bracket. I think I just got lucky because the last set of these I got came with the Lasfit universal bracket here, and the new set did not because I ordered the vehicle specific set. So if you guys are gonna get these for your car and you plan on putting them in the grille like I'm doing, go ahead and don't get the 15 plus bracket. Go ahead and get the universal brackets, because here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm going to install this universal bracket like this, and I'll have adjustability. I can kind of set it where I want it. And then I can attach the provided bracket and I can turn that however it has to be to get it at the perfect position. I think right there would be a sick position, sort of towards the middle, and I think it'll look really nice. But the other issue is when you would go to sit this down in here and clamp it down, it would still be sitting out just as far as this one is. However, with this universal bracket, I have room to slide this all the way back. So I've drilled out a hole there so that I can bolt it to this bracket on that very last section, and it'll just sit in there like this. And that will allow me to get the space that I need to get these to fit. All right, here's the new location. So we have that universal bracket bolted in, bolted to the back of this bracket, and then bolted to the fog light. So you can see our original location compared to that one. It sits in a lot further, and it also is more towards the middle. So what my hope here is that the bumper will fit on and it's at a good angle. If it's not, I can actually loosen this and then lift it up a little bit. So this right here is actually a lot easier than what I was trying to do over here. I don't know why I didn't just, well, I didn't have these brackets, but these universal brackets are a lifesaver. This right here, perfect. Okay, so I like this fitment a lot better. I think that looks much, much, much better. The bumper is fitting on over top of that, and it's gonna look just fine. So, and I'll still be able to adjust it, so I can loosen it and I can lower it and point it down facing more towards the ground, or point it up and facing more towards the road. And then again, like I said, I can lift that up and down. So that one there, I may lift it up just a little bit because you can see it's kind of not really in the center of the grill. So I may just loosen that bolt back there and just cockeye that a little bit to lift this up, and I think that'll be enough. And then I'll get the other side in and we will get them even, and then we'll do the wiring. All right, guys, I finally have this thing all together. I have the power wire going to the positive terminal, the ground wire going to the ground terminal. Then we have the relay just chilling right there. I'm gonna zip tie it for right now. I may find a better spot for it, but then the wire goes through into the cabin. Not the best spot for this. I'm gonna have to move it. Obviously, once I run it through the firewall, we'll do that. But then you open this up and it's right there. So not the best spot for it, but for right now, it's just gonna have to work. And I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about the toggle switch they give you. I wish the wire came out the back and you could like drill a hole. Like if I could like mount it there, that would be cool. But I may just switch out the toggle, so I have to cut the wires going to this toggle switch and wire up a new toggle switch, like maybe like a rocker, like an on-off rocker that would go in here or something, and I'll just drill a little hole and put the proper one in there. So the wiring for these just runs down. There's a lot of extra wiring. I just kind of have it tucked in there for right now. There's a bunch of extra wiring for my DRL bezels and my headlights and all kinds of stuff, but there they are. The wiring kind of comes down and it goes underneath and then sneaks up to the Lasfit LEDs there. So that's what they look like right now. They are super bright if you get in the way of these. They are super bright. So I'm curious to see how these look at nighttime on the road. I'm going to put the bumper back on and we'll be all done. Here we are. I love that look. I love that look. I think it looks super cool. It brings back a little bit of that rally inspiration that you get with the WRX. I mean, obviously the WRX was designed to be rally car experimental. It's designed to be a street rally car. I mean, it's something that you're supposed to be able to off-road and things like that. So something like this, it's a street car. It's nice to have those little rally inspired things here and there, even though it's not a rally car that I'm taking out. This might be the first ever video where you guys can see just how bad my hood is though with this lighting. Do you guys see all the freaking dents on that hood? I mean, it is terrible. I gotta get a new hood, so hopefully we'll work on getting that soon. But wow, I mean, that looks so cool. It's so unique. And I think one of the coolest things about this is that they're independent. Because they're wired directly to the battery, you can just turn them on. The car doesn't need to be on. You don't have to have your headlights on. You can just turn them on whenever you want. And there they are. And again, it doesn't really look like much, but they're so bright. I cannot wait to see these at night. All right, so I'm going to fire up the fog lights here and we'll see what we're looking like. Oh! Oh my God. That is wild. All right, wow. So that is definitely a spotlight. What? I mean, I'll be honest, I turned my headlights off. It might be hard to see in the video, but I can see where I'm going. I could literally drive with just this spotlight. But I don't know how much it adds to the drive. I mean, that just looks kind of weird. If I point those down a little bit more, it's hard to see in the video, but it's lighting up the road in front of me pretty good. And so I think I could use these as a fog light if I point them down a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. But I should have went with the driving light, and that's my fault. So I don't know, maybe I can talk to Lasfit about sending the spotlights back and getting driving lights instead. I think driving lights would have looked a lot better. I can see really far down the road, I really can. Way further than my headlights. And I could drive with just the spotlight. And I know you guys probably can't see that in the video, but I could definitely drive with just the spotlight, which is kind of crazy. But it is a spotlight, and I don't know what I'll ever use these for. So I think if I'm going to have my headlights on, the spotlight here isn't really going to do much. I think I should have went with, like I said, the driving lights. Not the fog lights, not the floodlights, just the driving lights. I think just the driving lights would have been fine.